On today's episode, featured videos include... Today's bonus features include the following videos.
Hi there, everyone. Welcome to episode 38 of the supplemental broadcast here on Alexandria Alternative Media Broadcasting, an OK Copernicus production. I'm your host, Jess, but you can call me Epitome or Burn Kid because, well, I'm Epitome the Burn Kid. Please be sure to follow the entire archival project, #YouTube Recommended Chronicles on X or Tumblr for the latest videos, music, memes, and more from the project. Listen to the official soundtrack on SoundCloud, and if you're watching me on YouTube, please be sure to come find me on Rumble should anything happen to this channel. All links discussed in today's episode can be found below in the description box, and please be sure to subscribe, like, share, follow, or tell a friend about the many of the things that we cover in our program. This stuff is like super important. For deeper dives on the more spiritual, esoteric side of the topics we cover, coupled with a hearty syllabus of phenomenal information in the form of YouTube videos, don't forget to check out my new series, Pan Panen Pious Prophetic Ponderings. I would also like to take a little time to thank everyone who has supported OK Copernicus and all the projects I'm working on by supporting my music across all the major streaming platforms. Just by listening to the tracks I've released across the many volumes of the Copernican Dispatch. With much more to come, by the way. I'm getting some more editions of that out in the coming weeks, so stay tuned. A warm welcome indeed to all of my new and returning subscribers, followers, and viewers who are joining us on this wild journey of truth and apocalyptic enlightenment. I am so happy to have you all back after a brief break to recharge, recalibrate, and rebalance as we continue to traverse the emerging complexities of the coming era together. Special production note, got 2 full-length features that are now in pre-production, so videos will be slowing down to, if you're on Rumble, it's going to be different. I'm talking about YouTube, where all of my channels are smushed into one channel. There'll probably be, maybe 1, maybe 2 videos a week or every other week. If you're on Rumble, it's going to be spread out a little further. It's so that I can focus on the filming and the music for the full-length projects. One is a retro gamer psychedelic art feature, and the other a VJ tribute to Busby Berkeley. Stay tuned for more details in the weeks ahead. ETA for release is late autumn for one, early winter for the other. We'll see what order that comes out in. And without further ado, today's featured video recommendations. Our first video today comes in from Rise Together News and is titled The United States of God Clones. This video brings us a new perspective on the Earth disaster cycle, the Knights Templar, Atlantis, and some clues as to who and what the deep state truly consists of. With so much hidden history to catch up on, this video has some very key pieces to the alien, angel, demon, reptilian secret society, clones, all of those agendas, and much more. So be sure to check out this channel for an inside scoop to this aspect of the mosaic. This is a good follow-up to those Ancient Bloodlines videos about those who have been running everything and seem to have quite the god complex. Since the Knights Templar lent themselves the money for the American Revolution, we seem to be a Templar colony. And looking at the political theater unraveling, it really is starting to show. Featured from the excerpts from this page, lots of great links about transitioning to natural law, law of the land handbooks, and other things that will help free us in the changing of the guard. Our second video originates from the channel Lucius Aurelian and is titled Kirkbride American Asylums Erasing Tartaria. Just to help better acquaint everyone with the last time the powers that be reset civilization, rewrote history, and covered up cyclic earth cataclysms that aided in their cover-up, this is a must-watch featurette for the skinny on that. This is from the excerpt, and I quote, "An exploration into the Kirkbride plan and the extensive use of asylums in the 19th century. What was their true purpose, and how could they have functioned to remove knowledge of a previous civilization from record and memory? Why did the U.S. require so many asylums? Think about those orphan trains. Think about going west and discovering the West. They didn't build the West, they found it. That's real talk, y'all. And third up on the show, we have a video from the channel Polite Leader titled The Luciferian Ritual of the Women's Movement. This piece peels back the veil and takes a look at ethics, sacrifice, and the women's movement pertaining to its links to Luciferianism. Considering Marxism is inherently satanic, this perspective dive sheds a whole new light on what is now expected of the modern working woman. The excerpt from the description box says, for fame and achievement, some women believe there is a high price to pay. In this video, I examine the dark choices of Stevie Nicks, the famous singer of the band Fleetwood Mac. And it goes on to provide links to resources used to make the video, which is probably very helpful to look at. Our fourth video today comes in from Jared Boosters and is titled Tartary Part 3, the Avars, the Khazars, and the Origins of a Slavic Germanic Europe, Huns/Golden Horde. To dive in deeper, we shall head straight to the excerpt since Jared provided such a robust overview for everyone. Here's the excerpt, and I quote, "Howdy, y'all. Today, we dive into some more Tartarian theory, focusing on the origin of the Bavarians, focusing on remarkable Bavarian architecture and the Bavarian relation to the Avars. Again, this is all just a theory proposed in the year 2000, but worth entertaining. We will also look to tie together the origins of the Huns and the Khazars, and beyond the Khazars to the Golden Horde, which shaped the landscape once called Tartaria. Our video today will make reference to an article in the Eurasian Politician of October of 2000. Please check out my other videos on Tartary, linked below, for more theories and photographs." And he really does do a good job sourcing a lot of photographs that are like really good. Our last two videos to round out today's podcast both come from Supplemental Broadcast favorite and regular Richard Vobes. The fifth video is titled Is the BBC Right About Chemtrails? And is a revealing peek at the evolution in climate propaganda. Let's take a look at Richard's excerpt for more. And I quote, "The BBC weather reporter Simon King suggests that geoengineering could actually be a good way to save the planet from the so-called man-made global warming. Is he right? Or is this just a way to persuade the hard of thinking that governments who are meddling with our skies have our best interests at heart?" End quote. And finally, our last video is titled The Baron David Ward Affidavit. And what a treasure trove of helpful data on the topic of freedom, sovereignty, and financial liberation from the monster known as the Babylonian or beast monetary system that we have reviewed the history of in some of our past episodes. This video takes us to the next step that gets us to the next level, taking positive lawful action to enact our rights. This guidance is relevant across the entire Western world, especially the US, UK Commonwealth, and the EU. There's a little snippet from the excerpt. And I quote, "We need to use the Baron David Ward affidavit to stop the fraud when it comes to debts and other legal injustices, says Christie, my guest and advocate of the lawful system. Our channels are here to give support for free with Zooms and posts to guide you. And there is a long list of links for Facebook groups and stuff for you to get support and help using the information from this video, which is really nice." And that wraps up today's main features. We're going to move on to our bonus features now. Our first one comes in from Stan McDonald and is tied into the Affidavit Financial Sovereignty video, and it is titled Sestoi Queviu, Act of 1666. Yeah, there was a reset around that time. Remember, guys? Our next second feature comes in from Ivor Cummins and is titled Understanding Mass Migration and Why It Is Happening. Our third video, it comes in from Static in the Attic and is titled Procopius of 536 AD, Supernatural Entities in Human Geist Knocked on Doors. Oh, that was another reset year too, wasn't it? That was the end of the Bronze Age or something, the Golden Age, something occurred then. And then they said, oh, it's the Dark Ages, or that's what they want us to believe. The video, our fourth one after that is from Flat Out Truth, and is titled Titans of Genesis. Our fifth video also comes in from Flat Out Truth and is titled Real Angels and the Wheels of Ezekiel. So for a skinny on what they tried to hide from us by rewriting history a million and one times and like burning a bunch of stuff, you're going to find a little more about what they don't want you to know there. And our final feature from our bonus features comes in from Dino Bain and is titled Tony Blair, Saint or Snake? I think we all know the answer to that question, don't we, boys and girls? And that brings us to my favorite part of today's show, the Auspicious Op-Ed. I composed some words for everyone. I found them to be quite meaningful to myself, and I hope that they mean something to you all. And I really hope that it inspires you to compose your own words and share them, because they're trying to silence us right now, and we need to share all the positivity and information and good stuff that we can with one another and show them who's really in charge around here, which is us humans. This op-ed is titled, This is a Battle for Our Sentience, Not Merely Our Lives or Souls as It Affects All Organic Life. I'm going to start us off by reading a short excerpt to begin. Let's state our givens for our logic proof, I guess. So I'm going to read an excerpt to give us our givens, and I quote: "Sentient." Oh, this came from sentientmedia.org. Sentient is an adjective that describes a capacity for feeling. The word sentient derives from the Latin verb sentire, which means to feel. The first letters, sen, match the beginnings of common English words, including sentiment, sensory, and sensation, all of which give hints as to the meaning of the term. In dictionary definition, sentience is described as able to experience feelings, responsive to or conscious of sense impressions, and capable of feeling things through physical senses. Sentient beings experience wanted emotions like happiness, joy, and gratitude, and unwanted emotions in the form of pain, suffering, and grief. Now that we have defined our terms, end quote. Now that we have defined our terms, let us delve into the powers that be, into what the powers that be are interested in regarding the manipulation, adulteration, and destruction of both sentience and sentient life in hopes of inflicting their transhumanist agenda without ethical consequence or recourse, under a paradigm where sentience in and of itself has been preemptively eradicated or compromised as an act of man, machine, science, or the state. Have you ever wondered how the stagnant, sterile, and stratified proponents of systems, industry, and theory circumvented and surpassed God-given inalienable rights? Did you happen to notice the dial being turned up ever so subtly with delicate finesse on numbing, hyperstimulating, and traumatic sensory experiences as history has marched along? While we're on this timeline of analysis, did anyone else also happen to notice The steadily increasing onslaught of environmental contaminants, ranging from malevolently low vibratory social cancers, like the lizard people and their flying monkeys, drones, and cronies, multiple forms of direct energy weaponry, heavy poisoning of our air, water, flora, and fauna, covert enslavement, thought reform, and surveillance, increasingly required credentials and roadblocks to independence and self-sufficiency. And let us not forget all the psyops that have turned what should be a delightful and peaceful existence into the most exploitative, torturous, and murderous charade or masquerade, probably a combination of the two, that any dark entity could possibly construe. I've noticed all of these things for a very long time. I remember it being glaringly obvious by age 7 or 8 that what goes on for the everyday person and what is required to survive in our culture is the most undignified, dehumanizing display of covetous envy that cosplays as an ambitious student, worker, or authority figure. Without attacking our sentience from conception, would they have ever made many of the perverse and savage decisions that have hailed since exploration and industrialization? If you've been watching this podcast for any period of time, you already know that I am not the most fond of anyone devoted to political allegiances of any kind in any way. While I do understand and acknowledge that there has been types of advancements from these movements, they never have been lasting or made a true improvement for the people they claim to be considering. I believe this is because the first thing the political types seem to immediately disacknowledge is sentience as a concern or a human right. They don't care about our sentience. They don't care about what we experience or what we feel. I believe sentience is a right to all organically sentient life, as God created it. But that means that I respect sentient life and its divine rights, while these people wish to employ any and all mechanisms to invalidate the meaning and importance of sentience and sentient life as a whole. You can't reduce us to a bunch of haphazard cyborgs without first justifying that it is for the greater good. So first, this bunch must unleash historic revisions, thought reform, penalization for not meeting their social engineering goals at a bare minimum. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I don't know why anyone would want a government authority or any type of ruling body when they are trying to do some of the most grotesque crimes imaginable against God, humanity, and all sentient life, with the sole intent of reducing our inherent pricelessness to fit their narratives and illusions that power their false matrix of 3D distractions and entanglements. Let's take a little time to talk about how they manufacture consent with low vibration behaviors, like rewarding compliance, flattery of the competitive amongst the compliant, penalizing independence, questioning, and dissent, peer pressure or struggle sessions from those who perceive themselves as powerful, threats, fear, intimidation, slander, libel, silencing, canceling, digital exile, banning, debanking. Let me sum that up into one word: genocide. This isn't just any genocide. It is the ultimate genocide, where they wish to put their trademark or patent on anything that is permitted to live under their terms, which are worse than that of death by default. No benevolent, moral, and ethical being could hold or conform to the beliefs that they rely on us upholding to keep destroying our homes and families for their benefit. Well, I am here to tell you that I understand that it is always darkest before the dawn. So dawn must be upon us in a most short order. We are in a war for our sentience, and that is the main priority we must keep in the forefront of all the hysteria, drama, and circus they try to deregulate us and get us all out of balance over, as they anxiously await monopolizing off all the dysfunction they triggered and chaos that they created. I've gotten pretty good at mentally overcoming their games, and I believe you can too, with information, understanding, and some practice. Keep your heads up, party people, because boy, are we going to celebrate once we restore balance and reason to our realm. How long did a bunch of incarnate fallen angels and their demonically possessed support staff think we were going to keep being polite and tolerant this long after they have seriously worn out their welcome and any benefit they could have possibly provided? The proof is in the pudding, and the Emperor is butt-ass naked in a most compromised position. Let's keep glitching, shattering, and demolishing the notion of this illusory matrix they keep casting in hopes that we offer up our sentience on a silver platter, wrapped up with a bow for a few trinkets or under threat of penalty. Let them know we are sick of being insulted, undermined, and abused, so that they get firmly clear in every part of their being that we do not need nor want their presence in any society or civilization we are a member of. Inclusion is the trap of genocidal, shape-shifting, dark entities. Do not fall for it, everyone. And that wraps up today's show. Our featured musical selection today comes in from my project, Aztec Adventure, and is titled YY Dub. If you like the dubstep, you should definitely like this. Links to where to find that, where to find all the videos we talked about, and where to find me all over the internet are down in the description box below. And as always, I'd like to thank you all for being with me. It has been so lovely sharing all of this with you. Stay safe, stay prepped, stay awesome, and keep on continuing being excellent to one another. We need it now more than ever. And I will see you all next time on the Supplemental Broadcast. Epitome out. Bye.